Hello, citizens of YouTube land.
Hey.
It's your president and your VP. And we're back, finally, after all this time. Yeah, guys, I know it was supposed to be up a little sooner than this, but things happen and you know how it goes. So, anyways, today's review is
Men in Black 3, the final Men in Black film of the Men in Black trilogy.
Once again, directed by Barry Sonnenfeld, also starring Will Smith, Tommy Lee Jones, Josh Brolin, Jermaine Clement, Michelle Stuabang, and Emma Thompson. So I believe this was one of Emma Thompson's very first movies too. Don't quote me on that, but I think it was one of her first ones.
Yeah.
Produced for a budget of $215 million, it grossed $624 million worldwide. Now, what is interesting about that is that in the year 2012, it was one of the most expensive films ever made up to that point, and to this day, it remains the most expensive comedy ever made.
Nice. Good for you, Men in Black. Why couldn't you not do that for international?
So,
sorry, guys. We're going to be mentioning international a lot.
Yeah, because it's going to be part of the ending joke that we use too. So get ready for that one, guys. First thoughts right away is that it's a big step up.
Oh, definitely.
From the second movie.
Definitely.
It basically begins with them being on they show us the Lunamax, which is apparently some kind of supermax prison for aliens on the moon.
It's an alien supermax prison that's basically like maximum security.
Yeah.
Basically, that's probably what it stands for. It's like a lunar maximum security prison for like alien criminals that are like wanted across the universe. And
this woman shows up and she's gonna visit Boris the animal because
Boris the animal is just a freaking boss already.
It's just Boris.
So
he's they're in a relationship and she delivers something to him and he's able to make his escape. And he needs to get revenge on Agent K because Agent K shot off his arm.
Yep.
And it doesn't grow back like some of the other aliens do. So he escapes, and then Agent J and K are doing their thing in New York City.
Yeah, and they go to Zed's funeral because Zed from the previous two films had died in this one, which I think was their way of like writing in his death, basically writing in the fact that the actor didn't want to come back.
Rip Torn might not have agreed on the salary. Who knows, guys? So yeah, they're doing their thing, and Boris has escaped, and there are a few things that I wrote down about it. One of the things is that this is a time travel movie, guys. And it works to a certain degree. The time travel aspect. They probably really couldn't go anywhere else except maybe back into the past with it, as they had already basically rehashed the first two movies. So they needed to do something different there.
I think what they did was they took inspiration from the comics because the comics had gotten revitalized because of the movies.
Right.
And so one of the comic miniseries, don't quote me on this, but I think one of the comic miniseries has Agent J and K going back into the past to stop an alien.
That could be. So,
if I remember correctly, don't quote me on that though.
The music is once again done by Danny Elfman, and so that's a big plus as well. Like I said, that he's the alien, Boris the alien, has escaped, and unlike in previous ones, he really doesn't become a different type of alien disguised as a human. This doesn't really happen in this one.
No, and I actually kind of like that they didn't go that route. No, he looks human on the surface, except for the fact that he has like this little thing in his hand. I don't know what you call it, but it's like this thing in his hand
Right.
that allows him to like shoot spikes out, and it's basically like an insta kill.
And so he's got to find this device, does Boris the alien, that's going to allow him to get revenge on Agent K. It allows him to time travel back into the past to the point where they met. And Agent K, at the same time, realized that he should have just killed Boris right then and there
instead of arresting him.
And so he like gets, I can't exactly remember. It's been a few days back now, guys. But he gets this, or Agent K gets incapacitated, right? And so it's up to Agent J, played by Will Smith, of course, to go back into the past and to convince the younger Agent K that he needs to do what's necessary in a couple of days' time. And the funny thing about all that is that when he gets back to the past and he gets put in their giant new neuralizer, they don't have the little flashy handheld ones now. So he's putting the giant neuralizer.
What's really funny is the quote that Agent J says to Tommy Lee Jones, where he's like, "Okay, that isn't a retina scan. That is a big neuralizer."
Yeah.
It's not an eye exam, K. That's a big ass neuralizer.
Yeah, and he manages to convince him because he tells him, "Oh yeah, you're going to meet this alien in a couple of days, and you got to kill him because if you don't, he's going to escape in 40 years and exact his revenge." And Agent K is just like, "All right, that's what happens."
But before that, he's actually on his way to Coney Island in a car, and he gets stopped by a couple of cops.
Mm-hmm.
And so
it's 1960s.
But even though you know what, never mind. I was gonna say that's kind of a little historically inaccurate for New York because of the fact that segregation.
Well, we've got that mentioned in here. You know, cop racism jokes, guys. It was 2012. You could get away with that.
Yeah. No, what's so funny about the scene is the fact that like they pull him over and then they put him against the car and then they're like, and they take out his neuralizer and he's like, "What's this?" And he's like, "Oh, I wouldn't touch that if I were you, especially holding it down on the side firmly." And he's like, "Do it," and then it like flashes him. But what's really funny is the fact that Will Smith still has his hands behind his back, and yet somehow in the very next shot, they have his sunglasses on.
Yeah, it's a little continuity mistake.
like, how did he do that? I don't know how he did that. I think it was part of a punchline of a joke, but then they like misedited it or something. But it's super funny. Just
so there's a cool motorcycle in the movie too that I wrote down. Like I said, guys,
is it Boris's or is it the ones that
I think it's the Men in Black motorcycle?
Okay. Because Boris's is also pretty.
Listen, I have rights, and I demand to see my lawyer before you press that small button on the side firmly. Press it. That, gentlemen, is a standard issue neuralizer, but you're not going to remember that. And just because you see a black man driving in a nice car does not mean it's stolen. I stole that one, but not because I'm black. I'm gonna be done with the car in a minute. Find it and take it back to the jerk at the Roosevelt Hotel.
Sony, don't, please be nice. Cool.
Yeah, he's pretty cool all the way around. There's a specific part where Kay smacks this big alien. It's pretty funny. We'll probably include it too. There's also a fish monster in this movie, and it's pretty unique. The aliens and the CGI is a big step up. I think it's because they had longer to flesh out the script and whatnot. And of course, guys, for those of you who I know it's kind of it's a little bit of a spoiler free in a way, this review, because we're kind of doing it a little differently here.
Yeah.
But you guys know how this is all going to turn out, right? Though, I mean, he goes back into the past. He's able to convince them. They team up together. The younger K and the NJ, they manage to. But one big thing is that Boris had also managed to go back into the past and was talking to his younger self too. So then you have
Hey,
the
you
two
got-
Borises wrecking havoc.
Yeah, and basically the film ends with the space shuttle launch to the moon, but it ends on, or the film is basically reached its climax on that space shuttle. It's actually a pretty awesome set. The way that you have like all of them just
And I
flying,
actually
like,
didn't catch the final few
because
minutes
you
of
have
it.
Will Smith shouting to Boris. He's like, "Hey, Boris the animal!" And then Boris turns around. And he's like, "It's just Boris." Like, he gets really offended whenever somebody calls him Boris the animal.
Which is kind of weird. You know, everybody, fun fact, if you didn't know, we're all animals. Even all humans are animals.
I haven't gotten to that part of history yet. How dare you spoil that for me?
Well, just so you know. But yeah, this was definitely a big step up, guys. It's a lot of fun.
Definitely.
It's very funny. It moves very quickly. You're not going to get bored watching it.
Oh yeah, they also team up with Agent J's dad as well in this, and he's like one of the leaders of the MP, which stands for military police. In case if you don't know what that is, and they team up with him, but he winds up getting killed in the end. And then we see Agent J also interact a toddler, or not a toddler, but it's like a child Agent J interacting with Agent K. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I guess it's kind of a way to tie everything back together. But yeah, guys, like I said, big happy ending and everything. You know how it all works out.
Mm-hmm.
So, I give this one 4 out of 5. What say you?
I give this a 4.5 out of 5. It's very solid. Not Men in Black solid, not like first movie solid, but it's definitely solid. You know, it's better. It's definitely better than Men in Black 2 and Men in Black International. So I'd say this is probably my second favorite Men in Black film.
Yeah, I'd have to go there too. And guys, if you want us to do international, maybe at some point we will.
Yeah, maybe at some point we'll do international.
Torture ourselves for you guys for that one. But of course, as always, if you've seen Men in Black 3 and you believe that it is the worst sci-fi comedy of all time, well, clearly you haven't seen its follow-up, Men in Black International. I mean, the joke wrote itself, guys.
Yeah, like, come on. Like, seriously, what were they thinking with International?
But maybe we'll get to that at another point. But hey, guys, stay tuned, as next time it's the beginning of our Carrie and its remakes. So that's very fun.
And then after that comes the scariest month of all time, for the month of Halloween Horror Supernatural Edition.
So yeah, guys, stay tuned for that. As like I said, up next is Carrie 1976, then Carrie 2002, then Carrie 2013. Then we segue into the month of Halloween Horror, where we're going to get all our supernatural Halloween films out. And then after that, we are back to the trilogies.
Yeah, with, I think it's Last Man on Earth.
We'll have to check the schedule, but he could be right there.
It's Last Man on Earth, the Omega Man, I Am Legend, then it's Back to the Future, then it's like 12 Days of Christmas.
Yep. So there you go. So after month of Halloween Horror, we've got the Last Man on Earth trilogy remakes, then Back to the Future trilogy, then it's the Christmas stuff. So stay tuned for all of that, guys. Very exciting times, very busy stuff. And you might have to forgive us if it isn't exactly on that day because we both work and he's got school and we've got other commitments. But we do these things to try to get it out for you guys and hopefully.
Exciting news. We may cover this next year. Give me a second. I got something very special while we were at the St. Louis area, which that unfortunately went sideways, guys. But I did get something really cool in return because of that trip.
So, yes, which will also be coming very soon. We talked about this as well.
Yeah. I got the entire Godfather trilogy. Oh, wait, one's supposed.
Yeah, so stay tuned for those two, guys, coming sometime next year.
Yeah. I got the entire Godfather trilogy for $10.
So, yeah, guys, but as always, we'll see you guys next time. And there's nothing else left to say except
peace and love from Denny and Son. Bye.